What's up, Tailgaters? You're in the booth with Tailgate Nate today. Welcome to my channel, and Week 13 preview predictions are continuing with the second video today. Let's talk about a matchup in the Group of 5 realm that is going to take significant presence in deciding who represents the Group of 5 in a New Year's Six bowl game. We got the UTSA Roadrunners led by their 7th-year quarterback Frank Harris and the Tulane Green Wave, who, hey, have been here before. They know how this works. We'll preview everything Roadrunners and Green Wave coming up next, but before we do that, just got to say thank you for all the support the channel has seen as of late. It means a lot to me to see the length and the growth that this channel has had over the past couple of months. And if you want to continue to be part of that growth and support, there are many things that you can do to help support it. One huge way, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell so you know when videos get uploaded, but watching the videos are another huge way to help support me. You can also like, comment, share, anything else you guys are willing and or able to do to help me support this channel does mean a lot to me, and it would be I'd be very appreciative and very grateful of whatever you guys are able to do. But that is enough about me. That's enough about all that. Moving past everything, let's dive on in here. Week 13 preview and predictions. UTSA and Tulane. We continue on with a Group of 5 matchup. Already have 2 other videos. Oregon State and Oregon is up, and then the big one against Ohio State, Michigan is up as well. But let's go ahead and dive on into this one. We are going to start with the road team in the UTSA Roadrunners, and after getting off to a slow start this year in their first season as a member of the American Athletic Conference, they have bulldozed through this conference, and it starts out with their quarterback, Frank Harris. Now, he has not been putting up the statistical numbers that he has in previous seasons. He is playing a lot better of defense, but is making some more mistakes as well. He does have 2,308 yards, 17 touchdowns, and 6 picks this season. Again, not the stat line that we've been accustomed to seeing from Frank Harris. Do believe he's tried to battle some injuries, or at very least UTSA has tried to move to some different quarterbacks. However, Frank Harris definitely has been the best quarterback in that room. The experience factor of his really comes in handy. He's got a lot of great weapons to work with in the wide receiver room, but most notably is Joshua Cephas. 76 catches for 966 yards and 9 touchdowns. His second leading receiver, Tyke Ogle-Kellogg, 29 catches, 514 yards, and 7 touchdowns. You have a lot of other weapons in that wide receiver room as well. As in the running back room, you take a look at a guy like Kavorian Barnes, and then you also have Robert Henry there as well. Those 2 guys running really, really well. You also do have Rocco Griffin, who is a former P5 transfer, and then Frank Harris is known a time or two to be able to flash the ability with the legs as well. This is an offense that can be turnover prone at times and can be prone to allowing a whole lot of pressure, as they allow 1.82 sacks per game. However, they're very, very good on third down, and they can be very, very explosive as well. So the UTSA Roadrunners, very good surprising team in the American Athletic Conference so far offensively. Defensively, hasn't been all sunshine and rainbows for them. They do force turnovers, and the thing that is most impressive about this Roadrunner defense is how they are able to force sacks, and more specifically, the linebacker Trey Moore. He has 14 sacks on the season. I believe that is one of the tops in the FBS ranks. He has played really, really well for this UTSA defense all season long, and albeit this defense as a whole has not been as bright as some years past. They're allowing 24 points per game, almost 370 yards per game, but again, they are facing a little bit of stiffer competition. This will be their biggest conference test up to this point in the season so far in the Tulane Green Wave. But this is the defense that Moore is going to need to get home, right? He is going to need to be able to create pressure in this Tulane backfield, because even though Tulane is not necessarily putting up the offensive numbers that they were last year either, this is still an offense that has a lot of very, very good capabilities, and it all starts with their quarterback, Michael Pratt. Has been battling through some injuries this year, but is back healthy and is starting to play really, really well. 2,043 yards, 19 touchdowns, and 4 picks on 68, almost 69% completion percentage. You take a look there at the yards marker. Yes, the pass game hasn't been there like it has been in years past, but Michael Pratt still has very good weapons. Lawrence Keys, the former Notre Dame transfer, is leading the way in receiving yards for them, followed very closely by Chris Brazzell. And then you have guys that have caught a ton of touchdown passes for them. Alex Bauman, the tight end, with 5 of them. And then Jaquan Jackson has 4 touchdown catches as well. And then when you take a look at the running back room, Tajee Spears being gone from this unit really did hurt this Tulane, this Green Wave offensive production. However, a transfer by the name of Shedro Lewis was supposed to come in from Liberty to kind of be that next guy, but that's not the way it has worked out at all. In fact, it's been Mekhi Hughes that has been leading the way for this Tulane Green Wave offense on the ground, and he has performed phenomenally for this team. And 206 carries, has 1,080 yards. That's 5.2 yards per carry, and does have 6 touchdowns as well. And we know that Michael Pratt can still flash the ability with the legs. Now, this offense, much like UTSA, is also turnover prone. 15 turnovers on the season, and they're also prone in the same way that their offensive line definitely has a lot of inconsistencies. Yes, both these teams' offensive lines can play really, really well, but it also is going to come down to, hey, which offensive line is going to be more consistent and can limit the pressure from the others, because much like UTSA, it's not as productive as UTSA's defensive front, but 30 sacks for Tulane is still a very, very good number, and this is a defensive front that as a unit you can say is a whole lot better than what the Roadrunners possess because of what they're able to do in stopping the run. Only 77.7 yards per game on the ground, which is an impeccable number to have. They, much like UTSA, also force turnovers. They are really, really good on third down. Now, the secondary, yes, does have a lot of inconsistencies, and that is where UTSA is going to have an advantage in this game. The experience of Frank Harris and having a weapon like Joshua Cephas is going to be really, really key against this Green Wave secondary, but UTSA not going to be able to get much going on the ground because this is the Green Wave front that is really, really spectacular. It'll lead me into my what to watch for keys to the game, just some things I think you should keep an eye on while you're paying attention to this one. It's going to be taking place on Black Friday. We'll tell you where to watch it in a minute, but Frank Harris is going to need to be spectacular because of what I mentioned earlier. Frank Harris has not really had that game or that stretch of games like he has had in years prior where he just explodes, where he has so many passing yards, where he's able to find weapons. Now, look, he's been consistent all year, and he's still been able to find his weapons, but especially with the possibility of the run game being shut down by this Tulane defensive front and this Tulane secondary being the weak point of this defense. This is a wide receiver group. This is a group with Cephas, Ogle Kellogg, McEwen, and then Cardenas, the tight end, as well as maybe some other weapons as well that will need to step up and play a lot of big minutes. If you are the Roadrunners, you got to be able to provide a lot of pressure in the backfield, not only to this rushing attack, but I should say not only to Michael Pratt, but to this rushing attack as well. This is a UTSA defensive front that, look, you've seen generates 39 sacks, or has generated 39 sacks so far this season. That's 3.5 sacks per game. A lot of great schemes and rushes that you can run off of this defense, but you also got to be able to get this Tulane run game to slow down. It's a run game that can be very, very effective with Mekhi Hughes, and then if nothing is there with the pass, Michael Pratt has the ability to get outside of the pocket. So you got to be able to slow both of those things down. But the key thing for UTSA is that turnover battle is going to be a huge piece, not only for UTSA, but for Tulane. You can kind of say that this is both teams' keys, right? The turnover battle. Both offenses are prone to turnovers, but both defenses love to force them. So whoever wins the turnover battle here and whoever can create the extra offensive possession for their team definitely is going to have a pretty good shot at coming away here with the win. Let's go to the keys for the Tulane Green Wave. Michael Pratt's play could lead to a lot of good or a lot of bad, and especially in the fact that, look, when Michael Pratt is on, he's on, and he plays really, really well. Now, he hasn't thrown a ton of picks so far this season, but this is a UTSA defense that can force the issue, right? They have forced 15 turnovers on the season so far. If Michael Pratt is not making mistakes, then UTSA's defense will get really nitpicky and make Michael Pratt have to be pretty good, near perfect, to be able to complete some of these throws. Now, the secondary may be the weak point of this UTSA defense as well, but I think Pratt, and maybe not even Pratt, maybe it's more so the offensive play and the ball carriers play, running the ball and being able to get yards after the catch, but holding on to the football. Michael Pratt has not had a huge problem with picks this year. It's been fumbles that have really killed this Tulane offense. The run defense is going to work. I've alluded to this before. It's a really, really good rush defense. It is an absolutely massive defensive front, and it is going to be able to slow down this UTSA rushing attack, but the secondary is going to have to limit Harris and these wide receivers, but that also relies on the defensive front. You got to be able to get pressure the seventh-year quarterback into having him make some decisions that normally he wouldn't make, which is going to be a really hard thing to do, especially for a guy that has seen as much football as Frank Harris has. But you have to be able to provide pressure, and this is a secondary that, yes, is the weak point of this defense, obviously, but they're going to need to force the issue, force some turnovers, force some mistakes out of these wide receivers and out of this experienced quarterback in Frank Harris. But if you are Tulane, start fast, create explosive plays. I don't think it's a UTSA offense that's going to be able to keep up, and I don't think it's a UTSA defense that's going to be able to stop it if you start fast and you set that tempo, and it's a big reason why I think Tulane is going to win this game. The line is 3. Right now for the Tulane Green Wave, 59.4% chance to win according to ESPN's FPI. This is a game on Black Friday, 3:30 Eastern on ABC, and the winner of this one is going to host the American Championship game. More likely than not, especially if it is the Tulane Green Wave. There's no other way for UTSA to make the conference title game if they don't win. If they don't win, they are eliminated. It'll be Tulane versus SMU. And I think that's going to thrive UTSA. They're going to put up a really, really good fight, but I do not think they're going to be able to come out on top. I think the rush defense of the Tulane Green Wave and the pressure that they're going to provide to the backfield is going to do enough. Now, UTSA's side is going to have their moments, but I trust the Tulane Green Wave more in situations like this. UTSA is going to be a very good team in the American for many years to come, but I think right now it's going to be a little bit before they can get past Michael Pratt and the Tulane Green Wave. I got them winning 27-26. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and as always, remember to play hard but tailgate harder. See you guys tomorrow with more preview predictions. Goodbye.